What is up, YouTube? Hostile Carrot here, and today I'm going to help you decide whether you should buy MX vs. ATV Legends. Legends is the most recent installment in the 17-year-old MX vs. ATV series, and it looks to make some changes in the right direction since MX vs. ATV All Out came out in 2018. Real quick before we get into the video, I'm just a regular guy that loves playing dirt bike games. I played all the dirt bike games, that pretty much all of them at least that I'm aware of, since Excite Bike. I really like dirt bike games. I just want to help you guys decide whether, this game is worth the 40 bucks or the 60 bucks if you want the AMA tracks. So to answer the question, should you buy the game? I'll tell you this. If you want to play a fun arcade racing game that trades some realism for exciting moments, this game offers you enough content to stay entertained for hours. I can say with confidence this game is better than MX vs. ATV All Out. It's not exactly on the same level as Forza Horizon, but there's definitely some parallels between Forza Horizon and the new MX vs. ATV. They're in cars, we're in dirt bikes, four-wheelers, and UTVs, but we're all having a good time. If you want to get fast and loose on dirt bikes, ATVs, and UTVs around a vast world, there's a lot of fun to be had here for the same reasons Forza Horizon is so good. If you're coming here from MX Simulator and you want realism or a ton of depth and customization, or if you were playing Monster Energy Supercross and your complaints were always it's not realistic enough, you're probably not going to have a good time playing this game. Might as well not buy it. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about everything the game does right. There's a lot here. Then we're going to get to the cons list. There's definitely some shortcomings with this game. I'm aware there's some updates coming, so hopefully as soon as July 5th, some of these things will be fixed. Anyways, reason number one to buy this game. The first thing you'll notice when you jump into the game and start the tutorials is that the game is absolutely beautiful. I'm not exaggerating. The huge open worlds are stunning. The scenery is great. The textures are smooth. The game renders quickly. Overall, the graphics help make this game an enjoyable experience. Pro number two, the tracks in this game are a definite positive. The game offers supercross, motocross, straight rhythm, and trails. Trails is sort of like waypoints if you're familiar with that, but it's done better here. It actually really reminded me of the downhill mountain biking races in Riders Republic, which I consider to be a huge positive. I loved racing downhill in there, and I was playing this and I was like, you know what? This feels like I'm racing downhill in Riders Republic, and that is awesome. The tracks look great and they're well textured. The motocross tracks are not a perfectly smooth raceway. They have breaking bumps and ruts galore, and they do actually affect the rider. Not just this, there are a ton of tracks on the game, especially when you consider the 22 AMA tracks that are coming out or will come out. I think I have 5 right now. I've yet to find a single track that I didn't enjoy. Every track offers multiple line options, so maintaining your rhythm, choosing the right line, super important, and when it's done well, it's an absolute blast. Pro number 3, track deformation in this game is done correctly. You hit a line once, your rider leaves a rut. Over the course of the race, these ruts build up, and then by the end of the race, you're getting cross-rutted, you're having trouble maintaining your line. The lap time slowed down as the track changes. Other companies, such as Milestone, should definitely take note about how track deformation was done here. Pro number 4, the bike tuning. It's more intuitive than Monster Energy Supercross. It just makes more sense. And it's also more noticeable than it is in Monster Energy Supercross, though it does offer less depth than MXGP, which is fair considering this is an arcade game targeted at a wider audience, whereas MXGP, not quite a simulator, but I mean, it does try to be kind of. Pro number 5, the career mode is deep and offers hours of replayability, and because there are so many different tracks, it really doesn't feel repetitive. Pro number 6, the multitude of camera options has been one of my favorite things by far. The game looks and plays great in first person. There's nothing quite like ripping 69 miles an hour in first person at a massive booter you never hit before, just kind of taking off. You got no idea where you're going to go. You just get over the lip, first person. Next thing you see is like, oh, yeah, flying. It's a blast. Also, the drone follow camera option in this game is a huge asset to the game. I am absolutely in love with the drone follow cam. You can see right here I'm playing with it. This is not like gameplay where I went back and recorded it or replay or whatever. This is literally They made it kind of like a top-down racer. If you don't know what a top-down racer is, consider yourself lucky that you weren't playing through the games we were playing through 25 years ago. Games have gotten a lot better. Anyways, if this game was just a top-down racer with the drone flight follow, it'd be the best top-down racer I ever played, and that'd be worth $20 alone easily. I definitely encourage you guys to try out some of the gameplay with the top-down camera, especially that some of those UTV races and the trails races. It's just beautiful. It's a lot of fun. Before I get to the cons, I'm going to the gray area to talk about the gameplay. The gameplay is not necessarily awesome. At the same time, it's definitely not bad. One of my biggest pet peeves with this game is that the rider sits vertically on top of the bike and just looks kind of stiff. This is probably a con, but with the use of the right stick to control rider weight, you can lean over in the corners and get totally pitted, or you can hold the sticks back through the whoops. And it does look okay. With the seat bounce and scrubs, you do have a lot of control over your trajectory, and where maintaining a rhythm is notably important in this game. I find the gameplay and physics to be pretty well situated for the arcade game that it is. Little stiff, but good nonetheless. Again, if you're looking for realistic dirt bike riding, you're not going to find it here. But if you're looking for enjoyable physics that makes sense, and you can see here as things just get wildly out of control, abusing the arcade physics. So it's not perfect, but I do find that it can be a lot of fun if you just settle on, okay, this is an arcade racer, I'm going to play it like an arcade game. So that's a pretty full list of the things the game does right. Now we're going to talk a little bit about where it does fall flat. The game starts out with tutorials that are reasonable in length and tell you everything you need to know about how to play. So that's fine. Tutorials, totally fine. Then you're thrown into career mode with a 125 that cannot even really make it around the first 3 tracks in the game. I cannot tell you how absolutely frustrated I was during the first 3 races of career mode on the dirt bike. There's this like river gap or creek gap on one track, and I tried and tried. I could not get the 125 over that jump. Think it's just a little bit of poor planning on THQ Nordic's part, putting you straight onto the big tracks on a purposefully slow bike. I think you're setting a lot of new players up for failure, and it's entirely plausible a lot of people will quit playing this game before it gets good. The simple fact of the matter, me and all my buddies I've played this game with, the first hour we were not stoked, but it does get a lot better. So anyway, slow start on the career mode. It does get a lot better. Next con, slow loading times. The loading times on this game are actually impressively slow for an Xbox Series X game. I think the only game where the loading times even compare of anything I play is Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is actually loading in the entirety of planet Earth when you load into the game. So in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it at least makes a little more sense. Next con, there are currently a fair number of bugs. I've had 2 game-breaking crashes. My controller has shaken violently at times for seemingly no reason. My buddy Little Whippy 23 did an online race where the only angle he was able to use was from inside the dirt bike, which was just totally bizarre. The music goes in and out for seemingly no reason. I didn't like the playlist to begin with. It seems like they were trying to make it like how some of the newer model cars, you speed up in the car, the music gets a little bit louder to cancel out the noise the vehicle makes. Then you slow down and the music gets a little quieter. It seems like maybe that's what they were trying to do here. Really just results in the music kind of coming and going whenever it pleases. Not thoroughly enjoyable. My advice is going to be just turn the music off, turn on a Spotify playlist, and it's awesome. That way, that's how I've been playing, and it's worked quite well for me. The rider will accelerate occasionally without you tapping on the gas. This is definitely frustrating when he does it on the start line, so he just rams into the start gate over and over. So again, there are a number of bugs that hopefully THQ Nordic will be working on as soon as July 5th. Next con, lack of customization. I was excited to see they have gear from official brands in the game, but there are only a small handful of options per brand, and you're basically just choosing a color. I was playing an online match and it dawned on me, we kind of looked like a bunch of Power Rangers racing dirt bikes, because you had the yellow one and the red one and the purple one, and well, you get the point. The next con, well, I don't know that it's necessarily a con. We're talking about the online here. The online that exists is fun. It offers some sensible options for public lobbies that will allow you to join in and race on a sort of themed set list. Like you can pick motocross, supercross, or a region which offers maybe trails and outdoor tracks from that region. It is sensible how it's set up. However, the lack of ability to set up a private lobby and invite friends and choose the specific track we want to race is a massive oversight. If THQ Nordic were to fix one single thing about the game, adding these private lobbies would increase the replayability tenfold. I really hope they consider doing this. And then the last con, also, I consider this to be a pretty major con. Other people might not care as much, but you don't have an ability to change the controller layout. This is a pretty massive oversight on any game, in my opinion. Definitely a massive oversight on a racing game. This game forces you to shift by clicking the left or right stick down, and I have absolutely no interest in shifting that way, as I've already perfected my ability on other games with controls that definitely make more sense. I am definitely disappointed by the inability to change my controller layout. So overall, you have a list of pros and cons. I hope this video helps you decide whether or not you want to purchase MX vs. ATV Legends. If you're looking for a fun game that's going to offer some hours worth of replayability and you want to play the AMA tracks, absolutely go for it. If you're looking for a realistic sim, this is not it. Keep it moving. Hostile Carrot here. I appreciate you watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe as I continue to make this content. Look forward to seeing y'all online. Peace.